first. That's normally a relatively chill thing. 0M80 says sometimes I being from Texas. Okay, let's take a look at what the Galactic Federation is up to from our one and only emissary to the galaxy, Elizabeth April.
Hello, everyone. Just a special, really quick live video. This is in reference to a huge download that I received just last night. This is like a very special, very important update about what's been going on around the planet, and basically...
Do you think our alien friends ever get offended at this little bobblehead she's got in the bottom right-hand corner? Can you guys see that? Would that not be like, I don't know, being friends with like a person of color, but then in your house you also have like one of those old really racist dolls? I just feel like if I'm an alien and I'm talking to her and she's the emissary to our country, you know, or our planet or whatever, questionable.
Basically what I was drawn to do last night, and I'm even thinking that...
Ooh, we're on a hype train. We might be able to get some of the tinfoil stuff. Nice.
That there was a lot of you who were involved in what took place last night. So I'm just in the middle of my day, and I had to relay this information because maybe it unlocks something, maybe it just informs, but it's really important. So in the past week, I think, well, in the past month, we've all been drained. We've all been, a lot of us anyway, have been experiencing psychic attacks, heavy exhaustion.
Can you define psychic attacks? What's been happening, Elizabeth? I'm very concerned that you feel you've been under attack psychically. Is she, oh damn it. My Pokemon joke's gonna fall flat. What's weak to psychic? Is it fairy types? Is she a fairy type? Did I do a joke? Is that a joke? Ugh.
Dense energy.
Dark? Okay, she's a darker poison Pokemon. Ooh, ghost. She's a ghost. We'll go with that one.
Irrational thoughts coming up, weird dreams, right? So there's been a lot of symptoms, and and the Galactic Federation has been trying to get a hold of me. Now, I kind of knew, but I didn't know, and you know, a couple of nights ago or a couple of days ago, I felt absolutely drained. Like, it literally felt like I got hit with a truck with my energy. Now, typically, this is how the Galactic Federation always gets my attention. They basically get me to a point where I feel very fainty. They usually do this with just like a vibrational or energy blast. So that happened a couple of days ago. I just ended up napping. I didn't tune in. I just felt like...
That's not good. Elizabeth, you probably need help. If you're fainty and then getting communications from the Galactic Federation, you should see a doctor. You should get a CAT scan. We got some levels of hype train. I'll start putting on my tinfoil.
I was tired, you know, it wasn't listening. So then it was like 2 days after that, which was yesterday, I was cleaning up my bedroom and I have a Galactic Federation ambassador pin, okay, whatever. And as I was cleaning, this pin just flew off of my dresser, my bedroom dresser, and into the garbage. And I'm like, oh my God, what does this mean? Am I not being a good ambassador? Is there something?
It means your pen fell. It means your pen fell. Wow, we already just blew through and now we're at 54% of the level 4 hype train. Thank you. I'll get to bit messages and stuff after we're done watching this video, by the way.
That I need to know. So I tuned in with them in that moment, in the middle of my day and my clean. And I said, what's up? What do you guys need? And they said, we really need to talk to you. And I said, I just talked to you guys on the 11th. Like, why do I need to talk to you again?
That's kind of a rude way to talk to the Galactic Empire or Federation or whatever it is. Sorry, I shouldn't call them an empire. I think they're a federation. Imagine Captain Picard calls you on the phone and you're like, what? What do you want? Jeez, sorry. We could find someone else to be the ambassador to the universe from Earth.
But that's fine. Like, can I do the rest of my day? Can I, like, do the rest of my cleaning? And can I check back in with you tonight? And they said, that's no problem.
Xanthorpe, we need to get our ambassador from Earth on the phone. It's an emergency. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Alien cell phone. Boop, boop. Elizabeth on Earth. Doing house cleaning. Can you guys call me back? I gotta clean the house. What? Oh, she has to clean the house. Is it okay if she cleans the house before dealing with this important Galactic Federation business? Yeah, she can clean the house. That's fine. It's not that important. It's just her fucking space job. Ah.
So fast forward to last night, I check in with them. I astral travel up to their mothership, and there's little Gracie and Grayson too. Anyway, and so I travel up to their mothership, and I go to the Galactic Federation Palladian Security Council. If you're not into this stuff, this is definitely not your type of video. And I said, what's up? Now,
I'm very much into this stuff, whatever this stuff is. 5% of the level 5 hype train, thank you.
Now, what's really interesting is when I went up there and I asked them what's going on, the wildest thing happened. I instantly saw, this is, once again, whatever, it is what it is. I instantly saw this giant 10-foot tall reptilian being in the room of the Palladian Security Council on the mothership. And so I instantly thought, like my human instantly thought, oh my God, have they been taken over? Is there an issue? Like, what's happening? Why is there a freaking reptilian in the room? And in that moment, my grounding cord, okay, so the grounding cord is a cord, an energetic cord that connects your etheric, your astral body to your physical human body. That's
a thing in D&D too. There's a certain plane of existence that you go to, but you don't travel corporeally typically. You can travel mentally into this, sort of like Doctor Strange when he kind of comes out of his body, and there's like a string that connects yourself. Yeah, the astral plane. It connects your like mental soul construct to your physical body, and if that is snapped, you die.
Something pulled on my grounding cord. So I saw this image of this reptilian. I got pulled out of the ship and back to Earth. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I astral travel all the time. My grounding cord never gets touched.
My favorite thing to imagine with all this stuff, because obviously I cover a whole lot of silly stuff all the time. We have 2.5 minutes left in the hype train with 13%, by the way. I always like to think, what if I'm, of course this isn't true, but I just get bored a lot. We look at a lot of people with crazy claims. My favorite thing to imagine is, ooh, what if all this stuff really is happening in the background? And it's like there's every day 1,000 different action movies happening all around the planet with different things, from aliens to all the conspiracies with, like, the Cabal. And I'm just like a background character who never gets privy to this shit. That'd be fun. Let me get some more silver stuff. Goggles. Gotta get the goggles. Still 13%. The Creeping Darkness asks, can I redeem my bingo sub? Let me double check and then we will get that to you. Yep, you sure can. The thrilling act of me clicking buttons to buy a bingo sub. That go through? Coolio. Congrats on the gift sub.
So I felt like something's up, like something major is happening. You know, of course, they wanted my attention. I didn't know if,
16%
am
with a
I
little
getting
under a
set
minute
up?
left.
Is this a holographic projection? Like, am I getting messed with in the astral, right? So I went through all my checks. I had to double check, make
So she's
sure that
literally getting her rules about the astral plane from D&D. Now, in fairness, it's possible astral plane and, like, the idea of the cord predates D&D and some other fantasy thing. I have no idea, honestly, but, like, this is straight up D&D stuff right now. I wish the world worked like D&D. Although I wouldn't want to see what my stats are. I think that might be a little, disconcerting. Although I'd probably have a decent charisma. My charisma comes in from pretending I don't have any charisma. I'm just like you guys. You fools. I'm just kidding. I cannot untangle this. I screwed up. I screwed up, folks. Oh, God. Can I get it? Is this a dexterity check? There we go. I did it. Alright, level 4. Not bad. Not quite level 5, but we got pretty close. So thank you, chat.
that, you know, no, I was really at the GFL mothership and something was going on. It's like, it's weird, but anyway, things get weird in the astral. What happened was I was getting attacked, or let's call it prevented.
Can your intelligence go negative? Otherwise I can't play that game. A score of 10 is a completely neutral intelligence score. If you have a 9 or an 8 or a 7 or anything below that, you get a negative intelligence modifier. And then above 10, you get positive intelligence modifiers. So if you had like an intelligence of 8, you would, every time you rolled an intelligence thing, you would have to subtract 2 from the roll because you have a negative intelligence modifier.
From going to the Galactic Federation mothership, from talking to the...
I think you have to have, like, for reference, I think you need to have an intelligence of at least 2 or 3 to even speak, so...
Lady in Security Council. So in...
Oh, sorry, yeah, 8 is -1.
Another realm and dimension, there was a reptilian that came into my room.
It's two levels to every one negative or positive value.
Which is where I was meditating and channeling, and he pulled...
How would 1 work? I don't even think you could have a functional intelligence 1 character. I don't think that would work.
Pulled my grounding cord.
3 intelligence is basic animal intelligence? Sure.
So it was almost like a parallel overlay. Okay, like, let me explain it this way. If I was sitting here in my house right now, in this condo, and I was meditating...
Like, there's a spell that brings your intelligence down to 1. It's called, oh gosh. I use this spell occasionally as my wizard character. Feeble Mind, thank you, yes. You can do Feeble Mind, and it, brings the intelligence of something, like, all the way down, and it, does bad shit to them.
And I was up...
They basically behave like an animal. They can still attack and protect their allies, but they can't speak. They can't intentionally trigger spells. They can't read. They can't really discernibly talk.
Traveling in the 12th dimension, and all of a sudden in the 12th dimension I saw fire everywhere. I would recognize in that moment that my human body was in harm's way and there must be a fire taking place in the physical. Does that make sense? That's what happened. It was a vibrational energetic overlay. So
I have a question. How did you know it was the 12th dimension? Do, like, each level of the dimensions have, like, a unique smell or something that you're like, yep, this is the 5th dimension right here. It smells like burnt popcorn, or like, the 7th dimension, this one smells like new car. Like, how do you know which dimension you're in?
Wasn't the fact that there was a reptilian being in, and there are reptiles, you know, in the, working with the Galactic Federation, but they're all good ones. This one was not a good one. So it wasn't the fact that he was up there, it was the fact that he was in my room, and that vibrational overlay was telling me, you've got an issue, you've got to come back into your body and deal with this. It's like a long-winded, it was like this whole experience happened in like less than 10 minutes, but it gets crazier. Okay, so then I like come back into my body. I'm like fighting this thing, okay? Not physically, energetically. He's there in the 4th dimension frequency, so I had to meet him there. I did invisibility cloaks.
Where are you at? I'm in the 4th dimension. Oh shit, I'm in the 12th dimension. Hold on. I gotta traverse 8-dimensional levels to get to you. I'll see you in 15 minutes. How does this work?
I just blasted him with pure white light. I got him out of my living, quarters. And then I went back up to the GFL mothership and I'm like, yo, what is happening? And they give me this whole overview of what's been going on right now at this time on...
In fairness, it does sound like she has some pretty rad lucid dreams.
the planet. Talk about a freaking war zone, okay? It's like, how do I even explain it? Okay, it's really difficult to explain. All right. So basically, there's a huge war between light and dark frequencies on this planet, all right? Now, recently, in the past 2 to 3 months, this war, this battleground has been increasing because they are getting threatened, and the light warriors, the light workers, us, we've got to step up and battle them. That's why we've been so exhausted. That's why there's so many symptoms going on. That's why we're getting prone to psychic attacks and intrusive thoughts. So... the Palladian Security Council also showed me this visual. It was so interesting. I kind of want to draw it. Like, even last night, I thought to myself, I'm like, should I be writing all this information down?
Yes!
And I just knew that I was going to remember it for today.
She's terrible. What a if I'm the Galactic Federation and I have to pick an ambassador, and the ambassador's getting debriefed on some sort of important shit, and they're like, should I be writing this down? I'd be like, you're fired! You're fired! Yes, write it down! We're the Galactic mother-flippin' Federation, okay? This is important stuff. Light and darkness, okay? Psychic dimensions!
Okay. So let me just draw what they showed me. I'm going to try and draw it the best I can. It's not a very great drawing, but... Okay. So this is what they showed me, all right? Now just imagine that all of these lines are just... It's darkness. What they showed me was a portal, a giant... Like, this thing is huge. This is gotta be one of the biggest portals I've seen on this planet, okay?
Wait, there are other portals? Explain the portals. How big is your average portal? How big? Because I don't know her portal experience.
So the Palladian Security Council showed me a holograph image of this portal. When they showed me this portal...
Do you mean hologram?
I saw where it was. I want to say, like... I should probably pull up, like, a world map right now, but... I want to say it was like, oh, man, okay, let me just see if I can pull up a world map here. It was like, I think it was around Russia. Yeah, it was. Here we go, perfect. Okay, it was at the top of Russia. It was in Russia somewhere. But all I saw was this giant continent, and it was at the top, upper half of the continent, which was, now I understand, is Russia. I thought it was Russia last night. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was...
Russia isn't... I know what she means, but Russia is itself not a continent, to be clear.
It was unpopulated, okay? So they showed me this giant portal that's open, that's dark, like super dark energy. And it literally looked like a desert, but not the desert that I'm used to here in California. It looked like almost like a barren, like it almost looked like another planet, but I knew it was here because they showed me the continent. Anyway, it just looked like an open desert, completely unpopulated, almost like Siberia, kind of, but I don't know if it was cold. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's where the portal was. And I asked them, I said, why are you showing me this portal right now, right? Like, why are you showing me this? And they told me that this portal, okay, in Russia somewhere, but not connected to Russians. Okay, so it's just that's where it is in the world.
It's in Russia, but it has, okay, it's naturally occurring, and it happens to be in the geographical boundaries of Russia.
They said that this is connected to the dark agenda and the elites, and they said that they have been trying to get my attention for the past week or so that I can lead. It's funny, my computer just popped on. So that I can lead a team of light workers and warriors to the portal to transmute it.
Yes! Road trip, road trip, road trip. Russia, alien portal, road trip. I am on board. Please, can I come with you, Elizabeth? I want to go so bad.
To take it over, which is really funny because this is the same thing that I was doing with my dad when we traveled all around North America in November. And so I said, okay, cool. Like, I've done these missions before. I used to do these missions all the time back in the day, like back 2012, 2011.
What? You were going around sealing energy portals in North America. What? What are you talking about? Where? To what end?
I was like fighting battles, like full battles in the astral. What's really interesting is, of course, this giant reptilian being pulled on my grounding cord.
Of course, that's what they do.
To prevent me from talking to the Palladian Security Council so that I wasn't able to do the work that we needed to do on the portal last night, right? So it was all kind of coming together.
God bless you, Elizabeth. Saving the world from reptilians one portal at a time.
And so basically what they told me, what the Security Council told me is, this portal has been taken over. It's one of the biggest portals on the planet. It was taken over by the corrupt side, the elites, whatever you want to call them, like years ago, like thousands of years ago, probably tens of thousands of years ago, or even hundreds of thousands of years ago. Basically, when they came to this planet, they took over this portal. And I asked the Galactic Federation, I said, why didn't you guys freaking deal with this years ago? Like, why are you dealing with this now? And they said, we haven't had enough conscious light workers. We didn't have enough strength to transmute it. The reptilians, let's call them, okay, are able to take over it because they're anchored here to this planet. The portal is connected to the planet. There really isn't a whole lot that we can do because we're not there. We need as many of you who are anchored in bodies, who have a vibration, who can do the work as possible. And now we have enough individuals. And now is the time, I guess, the prophesized time.
Oh, there's a prophecy too! Oh, this is so good. Someone please pick up this screenplay. Okay, so far we have aliens. We have reptilians. We have... word salad. I'm pretty sure that's it so far. Yeah.
So I asked them too, I said, what does this portal do? Like, what does it do, right? Like, we're about to, like, the way that it was mentioned was restore peace to the planet by balancing the portal. So I said, what is the portal? Like, what does it do? And they said that it's a balancer for the planet. Like, this thing is huge. Like, I can't even express. Like, it's probably like 3 European countries could fit in this portal. Like, it's huge.
Which
in the middle
ones?
of this barren land in Russia.
Are we talking Germany? Are we talking like Liechtenstein? Like what?
And so yeah, so they said it restores balance to the planet. So I said, okay. What I found interesting about the portal that I usually don't see with other portals, like typically when I see a portal, okay, say this is the ground, a portal will usually to me look like this. That's typically what I see, okay, in the astral realm, a portal look like. And I asked the GFL, I had to, because I've never seen a portal look like this. Like, it looked like it was a black hole sinking into the earth. And this is energetic, okay? So I'm like, why does the portal look like this? Why doesn't it look like this? And they said because it hasn't been activated. It's been activated to service the lower vibrational beings. This portal, very similar to CERN and what CERN is doing or trying to do or has done, they basically, this is like a portal to lower dimensions to bring in entities and beings from other like lower vibrational places. Very similar to a lot of like Greek mythology, if you're into that. I don't really know too much about it. Anyway, so what they said was...
So how do you know? Okay, so you don't know about Greek mythology, but you know that these lower dimensional beings are akin to something from Greek mythology. If you're into that. Good Flatland reference, Malachi. I also enjoy Flatland.
Because it's dark, because it's a lower vibrational thing, it sinks into the planet and it goes into deeper densities. When you recognize that if a portal is deactivated, like say for example, this is a mountain, I can recognize that at the top of that mountain there's a portal because I can see the energetic opening, but it's not necessarily going down and it's not necessarily going up either. That's how I recognize a portal is active or deactive. I've never seen a freaking portal activated to lower densities and dimensions and realms. Typically when I open portals, it opens like this. It goes straight up and then it anchors into the planet as well. And so they said that the portals that I recognize...
Portal goes in, portal goes out. Can't explain that.
...and see go up because it connects to source frequency. That is a portal that is activated in a higher dimension. Anyway, little portal lesson. I didn't know. I had no idea a portal could look like a freaking black hole on the...
I didn't know that either!
...planet. Okay, so here's what happened. So I had them explain a couple of things. Everything that I just explained took like less than a second for them to download to me. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Like, let's go.
Expert has a ridiculous job title. Yeah, she's like an ambassador to the Galactic Federation, so that does count, sure. Where's that one?
So like I said, I had to protect my grounding cord. I had to put an invisibility cloak around me. Like I had to do all these protection things because the reps were like basically after me last night. And so I go over to, I don't know, Russia, Siberia, whatever. Like I go to this desert and I'm just like remote viewing, like astral traveling along this empty, vast space in...
Like, okay, she says desert. I assume she doesn't mean, like, especially if we're talking about, like, Siberia or Russia, I assume she means in the way that, like, the Antarctic is a desert, right? Although, no, those probably get Russia and Siberia get precipitation, so... I guess I don't understand. I know tundras are deserts, but typically you don't describe them as such colloquially. Because usually when people think of deserts, they think of the hot kind of desert. I don't know.
In Russia, and we get to this portal, and there are other lightworkers there, right? I'm not surprised. And this is where I'm pulling you guys in. Like, I feel like for whatever reason, a bunch of you were involved in what went down last night, and you may have some weird symptoms. This morning, I felt pretty grounded, to be honest, but anyway, it was so weird. So there was like, I want to say there was probably like maybe 200 astral bodies that were all around the portal. Like, this thing is huge. So even though there were a couple of hundred, it didn't look like there was very many of us. And I'm here being sent from the GFL to like gather the group and to transmute this thing.
Ridiculous title. I think that's it.
While at the same time, all of the ones who were there were all getting attacked. Like everyone who showed up last night was getting attacked in their physical body at the same time. I do want to say that there were also like angelic beings. There was actually quite a bit of angels. For whatever reason, they were floating above. That's how I recognized them, and their vibration's different, but they were floating above all of us who were remote viewing into that. I could also tell the difference between angelic etheric beings and human astral travelers, because the humans, I guess, they all have a grounding cord connecting their astral body to their physical body. So I can recognize and spot them right off the bat. So all these light workers were told to come there last night to do this work, right? So here I am, like I'm still awake, like I'm like in full meditation at this point, doing this work. And so I'm like, this is not enough. Like, we don't have enough. I knew that we needed as many beings as possible there. So I go back up to the GFL and I said, guys, we need more. Like, we need tens of thousands. So I called in, they called in, the angelics called in, and all of a sudden this huge just amassing of beings, like this astral, all in their astral body, all circling around this giant, like I'm getting chills, just circling around this giant freaking, like, I don't know, this portal, this hole that's going into the ground. And I'm telling everyone as they're entering in, right? As they're entering in, for whatever reason, I'm leading this whole thing. And I'm telling them...
That's convenient, isn't it? She just so happens to be the main character in this story that definitely wasn't a dream. Fun.
I'm like, guys, like, please be aware, like, put an invisibility cloak around yourself and protect yourself, because
I mean, that's an obvious move. You're gonna do the invisibility cloak. If you don't know to do the invisibility cloak, are you even qualified to be part of this portal mission? I'm just saying.
Attacked to prevent us from doing this work. This has never been done before on this particular portal. And so I'm coaching everyone through the protection, the invisibility, the grounding, all of that, especially the humans, the etherics, they know what to do. And I put this giant dome of energy around the group. It was huge, like this huge dome of energy. And so, and I was coaching them, I guess, like telepathically. And I was telling them, I said, we need to, in order to do this, in order to activate this giant freaking portal, okay, that's been taken over, we need to have as much strength as possible. It's very similar to Tai Chi and Qigong, where you're building the Qi energy, but you do that in the etheric. So it's just so wild. I mean, like, I didn't plan to say any of this. Like, I didn't, you know.
This does not count as Planet X. No, that's a very specific thing that's different than this.
Prepare for that at all. Anyway, so what I told all these beings was, we need to all take every single...
I'm going to also go with, I think the Tai Chi thing breaches enough to be... someone demonstrates a poor understanding of philosophy or Eastern religion. I'll count that. It's a little different, but I think it's the same idea. So...
piece of our fractionated soul from all over the universe, and we need to converge them all together. And I'm gonna try and like draw another picture for you. It's like tough to like, I don't know. I'm just gonna see if I can like, yeah. This is how I see it.
If she played D&D, she'd be an amazing DM. I guarantee it. This is so creative.
In the astral. But in other dimensions, it's very difficult to explain. Okay, so imagine this right here. This is one of the individuals who was astral traveling into the scene. All of these other individuals, like infinitely out, like...
You ever learn how to do a perfect invisibility cloak, but the only way you know how to draw is with stick people? Just saying.
Hundreds of thousands are all versions of you in other dimensions. Like, you have a version of you that's existing as a Palladian, you know, in the Pallades right now, or a Lyran, or a Suri, or whatever the other beings are. And then there's also tons of other versions and fractals of you that are existing in parallel timelines. So what I told everyone there is, it takes a lot of power to bring together all of the versions of yourself in one moment. It's profound when it happens, okay? But it takes a lot of power to do that. So I said, we all need to bring all of our fractals together all at the same time to give this portal enough.
Like Jet Li's The One. I understand this because I've seen a movie.
Kick, enough vibration to transmute into a higher frequency. And so
This sounds like an anime, doesn't it? We need to bring our fractals together so we can transmute this portal. And everyone, ah, and you see like transparent alternate dimension anime versions of themselves kind of like filing into their being. I'd watch that.
Coaching them. I was teaching them all to do this. And so we did this. So I said, on the count of 3, bring together, converge every aspect of yourself into this moment and push that vibration from pure source into the portal. And we did that. And literally, I counted down 3, 2, 1. And we all, it looked like, this is tens of thousands of beings now all around this hole. And on the count of 3, it's like, it literally looked like a lightning bolt shot every single soul, because it was just so much like the white light that we were able to bring together individually was like blinding. And we pushed that energy from ourselves into the portal. And in that moment, it looked like a volcano erupted and this portal exploded of pure white light. And now all of a sudden it went from dark sucking in to spiraling up. It just shot up. All this pure white light shot up. And then what I thought was really interesting is once the pure white light shot up and connected to pure source energy, it also got sucked into the planet as well. I think that there was a lot more, but I'm pretty sure I passed out. This was right before going to sleep, so I think I just fell asleep after.
Gee, I wonder why all these images might be happening right adjacent to a point where you were asleep or are asleep or woke up or whatever. You were asleep!
And I even asked, I said, do I need to record any of this information? And the GFL's like, no, you're going to remember. And then I even asked permission if I was allowed to tell you guys what happened last night. And they said, absolutely. Anyway, so then it was just activated again, and it was all of that pure source energy got sucked and pulled into planet Earth, and it's she's now getting all this this brand new connection to source, which allows her to create more of a balance, right? It was that portal is so big and so powerful, and it's been so corrupt and so taken over for such a long time that the planet hasn't been able to recalibrate and balance herself. And that's why so many light workers, light warriors, grid workers, healers were all being called to these sacred sites to go hiking, to go visit a mountain, right? To activate these portals, whether we're...
You like going outside and interacting with nature because you're a human being. You don't need to come up with a magical reason for it. You could just like hiking and being out in nature without it being a mission from aliens.
Aware of them or not, we're getting called to do this. I just didn't realize that the Galactic Federation was waiting for me to get this going and transmute.
I like that in all her stories she's the chosen one too. She's the most specialist person in the world.
This portal in particular.
Honestly, this reminds me of, have you guys seen Pixar's Soul? So, light spoilers for Soul, I guess. I'm not going to spoil the actual plot, but there's a single plot point that I found pretty funny, where the premise, if you don't know, entails a person dying and interacting with the afterlife and sort of weird metaphysical, how does the universe work type things. And at one point they reveal that, the zone you get into when you're like doing something you really love. If you're like a singer and you really get into it when you're singing a song, or you're a piano player and you're just like feeling it and you're like completely in your art or whatever. This is like a physical location that your mind and soul travel to while you're doing that. Anyway, they reveal that a character can go there whenever they want, and they're like a dirty, druggy hippie who has actually figured out how to do this, and the joke is basically people like this are right. So it reminds me a little bit of that.
So anyway, you might have had, if you were a part of this, you might be feeling really exhausted, but you might also be feeling super freaking energized today because the portal is active and you got a kickback from activating this giant portal. Like, I feel super energized today compared to, the last month. And then the other things that I would say is like psychic attacks. Like, if you have been like a lot of intrusive thoughts, low vibration, anxiety, nausea, like a lot of psychic attacks, I know that's most of us, but it means that we've been pushed and attacked before we were able to do this work. So this is like just one experience out of many that I have often. I haven't done a lot of the astral stuff in a while though. So I wanted to share this with you all and just open your mind to what is possible, to what happens, and to really what's happening at this time on this planet. The war, it's a freaking full-on war that's happening, that's going on right now on this planet. So stay in your body because there's safety being
done. That's I'm the best at staying in my body, okay? I'll have you know, I'm an expert. I've spent literally every moment of my life in my body, so I think I can do this.
In your body. Continue to give yourself extra self-love. The more you
can check out the comments once the video's over.
Are tempted to heal and to complete the ones that you love around you, your family members, your friends, the ones who aren't awakened and who aren't getting it, the ones who are in a depression, the ones who are going through their dark night of the soul and their ego death right now, the more you're tempted to give back and to help them, the lower your vibration gets because the more you're giving what you have from within. If you really want to give to someone, make sure you're giving to yourself first because we need as many of you as high vibrational as possible, as ready to go at the drop of a hat, just like yesterday, as possible, so that we can go and do these missions as much as possible, okay? So don't get sucked into other people's chaos. Even though you really love them and you want to help them, they have the capability to help themselves.
Bitter old ass broad asks, ego death? Ego death is something that can happen on certain drugs where you basically completely depersonalize. You no longer feel like the person you are. You don't feel like you are that identity. You depersonalize and you just exist as sort of part of everything. It's kind of hard to explain if you haven't had that happen.
Please don't get sucked in. That's another tactic, okay, of distraction so that we are not helping the collective. What is helping 3 people that you love versus helping 3 million people that you may not know that are going to shift the frequency rapidly, all right? So you may not agree with that. It's great to help loved ones, but seriously, guys, we are in the middle of a full-on war right now, and we need you. We need you, we need you, we need you. And I'm so grateful and appreciative for all of you for being here and listening to that.
Isn't that just disassociation? No, it's hard to explain. It's really, really hard to explain.
I'm going to go ahead and post this to YouTube as well, so make sure you are following me on Instagram for more of these updates, and make sure you're subscribed to YouTube to watch this video. It's going to be available to everyone. It won't be members only. All right? Have a beautiful rest of your day, everyone. Keep up the good work. You are doing more than you know. Bye for now.
Oh boy. Okay, so that's our update on the Galactic Federation. I guess let's see what the comments are like on this video. You literally called it. We have been attacked without really knowing. This feels like desperation on their side, especially what has been transpiring the last few months. And we have been doing the work that have done such bigger work than we can see. Also, makes sense, all the Sun-Earth magnetic shifts happening literally right now. Thanks for being the catalyst for having them get the messages to me. They are smiling. This appears to be another YouTuber who does this kind of stuff. Okay, I guess I'll add this person too. Dang it. Reptilians in the room is the new elephant in the room saying, "It's like a bunch of Care Bears working together to bring their light together and using their superpowers. Awesome, thank you." OMG, I'm sitting here shaking after watching this. Not only have I felt drained all day, but I remember being there in your army. I thought I was lucid dreaming, and as you started describing all the stuff, I kept saying, no way she's describing the exact lucid dream I just had last night. I dreamed that I was part of a huge group, and we were all being taught how to focus an insane amount of energy into this giant hole in the earth. There was a countdown, and then lightning, and when it got to the part where lightning started to fly, I completely blacked out. So wild. So what do you guys think? Is it innocent LARPing, or is it a bunch of compulsive liars who just get off on pretending to be protectors of the, metaphysical multiverse, or crazy? Is it just delusional? Which is it? Because if this was just like a role play thing and they were all sort of collectively writing fan fiction together, that could be fun. I don't have a problem with that. But selling it as real to people is questionable, to say the least. I don't know. That's her for the day. We'll catch up on Galactic Federation news as it continues to come out in the future.